Well, hello there, everybody. What's up? So good to see ya. It's Wednesday, it's hump day. And as I go around and push all the buttons, you have to push all the buttons. And so, welcome everybody. Speaking favor over us all, nothing missing, nothing broken. Happy birthday if you're having one, anniversary. Celebrate it to the max. Hello, everybody in the chat room, all the moderators. Hey, Lois, how you doing, dear? Good to see you. Hey, Nina, enjoyed the show yesterday. It was fantastic. Icepick, greetings. Gilbert, David, Barry, what's up? Mad Cow, hello. Emperor Rex and Jeannie, good to see you as well. So David, Barry, look at this. This is what literally came this morning. So this is it. You're seeing it as I literally just got it on. So this is really good. It's a great design. I like it. The graphics are what I would call bring out. That's what you want with graphics. And it's fabulous, man. That's all I got to say. Hey, Crystal, what's up, girl? Good to see you. Hey, John Price, Spirit Woman, good to see you. And Tessa, hello. And Rod, what's happening? Hey, Martin, Heidi, what's up? Good to see you. Hey, Trina, much love to you, dear. Just chilling. How you doing? Who else is there, beloved? Abstract, what's up? Street Mom, how are you doing? Much favor to you. Robert V is in the house. How you doing, Robert V? Good to see you, buddy. Wow. So many wonderful. Hello, Isby. Hey, Marsha, much love to you. Sending you a document, Marsha. You're going to really dig it. Hey, Gaia and Paul, good to see you as well. So I just thought I'd show you all this. This is just so freaking cool. Well done. Well done, David. And Nina, I know you have yours and we'll be showcasing them as well, but this is really cool. This is cool wear. I mean, this is stuff you like to wear out, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Regina, what's up? Jules, hello. Hey, Adam, good to see ya. Who makes the shirts? Go to David Barry. It's down there below. Soul Tribe Gear. I mean, it's got everything. There isn't anything you can't think that the Soul Tribe will not be on. It's amazing. So there you go. Papa. So what else is happening? I'm working on the Steiger Perspective tomorrow night on Artist First, and it's titled Knock Knock. And you can take it from there. Tune in tomorrow night on artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. East Coast, 8 p.m. my time here in the mountains. Hey, Sky Above, what's happening? Good to see you. Little Red Haze, what's happening? Good to see you as well. Hey, Morning Star, so good to see ya. This is my story. How you doing as well? Ruben, good to see you as well. So welcome, everybody. I'm just so glad to have you here. It's an honor. Really is. Yesterday's show was, I think, one of the it was fantastic. I mean, to say it was one of the best, it's right there. It was quality material. Great conversation, great knowledge exchanged, and yeah. So, well, you're welcome, David. Hey, Twilight Traveler, what's up, Ed? Good to see you as well. Ginger, hello. Deborah, Sloan, what's happening? Scotty boy. Boy, people filling in here quickly. So thanks for the hitting the like button. I have to say that. Yeah, it's cool. Beautiful gear, and I got my the sweatshirt, the hoodie as well. Just not the right time, but I can't wait to wear it. This is fab. I'm going to be ordering more of it. Can't get enough of it. Got to spread the word. We got to be like the bird, fly high and let us soar, so that we can obviously tell more. You're a true wizard and witch when you can actually speak and rhyme and know that it makes the time to always make sense in time. Anyway, enough of that, and we shall move right on. Yeah, yesterday was one of those feel-good shows. It was. It was just an absolute. It was pleasantness. It really was. I enjoyed it. It was just fabulous, folks. That's all I got to say. Hey, Divine Empress, what's happening, Paul? Joe, good to see you as well. David Castle, good to see you, brother. Speaking favor, gotta have favor. uh, let's see. Deborah said, so to Scotty Boy, you are a winner over a Milky Way Soul Tribe. Send Robert V your email address, your address. Yes. Hello, I am. Love that. Taking a 10-minute break. I can dig that. Absolutely, I can. So, we try to cover broad things. We're going to really conclude on chapter 1. It's a cool book. I mean, it really is. And when quality material like that, it's sad that they took down their WordPress blog, and I'll find the rest of it. Trust me, I will. It will come to me, and that is what's. Well, thank you. This is my story. Much, much appreciate that. Hey, Charlie, what's happening? Dragon Soul Fox, how you doing? Hey, Suzanne, good to see you. Who else did I not miss? Probably someone else, but winners of the sprays, email your address. Is that to you, Nina? Hey, Doris, what's happening? So, we like to include one of the things you don't see a lot on is voodoo. I mean, in the Caribbean world, voodoo, and particularly, I would say all the way up into where I saw it more pronounced was in southern Louisiana. But voodoo is one of those things, and we're going to get into a whole show on voodoo because it's really interesting how it works. And of all of the mystic beliefs, and I would dare say that this would fall into it. It's one of the more direct connections to causality, physical, spiritual, physical, and it's like the spiritual is sandwiched in between the physical. I mean, those dolls work, and it really doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. It works, and don't ever want to be a recipient of such, but in all things, in magic, prayer, spirituality, at least in this realm, there is a reverse. If someone sends you a curse, you can break that curse and send it back. That's the riskiness about cursing things. And that's why I tried to tell everyone, stop cursing yourself. Many people are living under a curse that they have put upon themselves. And they're kind of lost as to, all right, so how do I undo this? Well, it's very simple. It's as simple as doing forgiveness. I have put together a favor cleansing ritual, which will rid you of all that. I mean, it will. It will literally it's like taking a good Epsom salt bath. How about that, Trina? I was thinking about that. But yeah, think about that. And, you know, the older you get, the more you have in the cupboard, so to speak. I mean, particularly if you are a person who uses, certain adjective pronouns, nouns, to describe yourself. You should be saying that you're absolutely beautiful. There's only one of you. Now, there may be many of us, but there's only one of you, one of me. And I am a groovy spirit. I'm a spirit man. I am. I can say that with absolute confidence and boldness. I'm a pretty groovy spirit man too. I really am. A lot of the spirits like me. There's some who don't. If you think you're going over into the next realm where everyone loves you, nah, you'll stick with your tribe. And I think it's just that simple. So, there you go, Nina. Now that is attitude. Absolutely. Love it. Uh, yes. And, in a sense, we're all really groovy people. We really are. You know, we are attracted to each other's vibration, each other's frequency. We, there are relationships that have been built here. There are uh, ties that will carry over into the next realm. Um, well, thank you, Charlie. Uh, that's very kind. And you know, we've collected and we have literally created, I guess you could call it a micro collective consciousness. We have soul tribe family who's crossed over. And I have no doubt that they have carried the consciousness of intent of this collective over there. And which is kind of groovy, you want kind of a reception. Now, I have seen literally a hall, and it's got tables that seem to freaking go on forever. They're white linen tables, but the hall is filled with people. And there's a celebration going on. I mean, you know how it is. You got that din, that white noise, that where you have large people who all have something in common, and everybody's talking and sharing, and it's that vibration, and it's kind of really electrifying. Um, I in 2013, my technology won a industry award, and the event took place at Harvard in I believe they call it Liberty Hall. I believe it is. Yeah, it's beautiful. You got John Adams in there. And if any of you have been on the campus of Harvard, you know what I'm talking about. And it was really kind of a cool thing because there was over, a couple thousand people there. And, when you get to go up on stage, and it's actually, where is that? I actually could show it to you. Oh, yeah, here it is. So I think I can actually get this off. So here is actually the award that I won for the technology. I'll put that up later. Anyway, so we're at Harvard, and it's that feeling, when you're in that, and that's what I see for us going over. I think it's going to be a really cool reception. I think after that, many of us have other destinations. Many of us will continue on with our mission plan. This is just but one stopover in what is most likely a very well defined mission plan of how we see things going out. And it certainly makes more sense than getting into this recycling thing. It really does. But that's just me. Hey, Big Al, what's happening? Sitting here in Olive Branch, Mississippi, waiting for the ELA. Oh, yes, 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 it does. Much love to you, Big Al and Perry. Y'all are just, y'all are just beautiful people, man. We got so many of them. Hey, Jack Dreaming, what is happening? Emerald Eagle, good to see you. And Delaney Peril, good to see you as well. So that's how I see it. Hey, Karen Lynn, what's up? To Isby, good to see you as well. Jay, God, good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, it was a number of years ago, but it's an accomplishment. I mean, yeah, when I leave this planet, one of the things I know that I did is that in my case, I invented an electronic payment system. Never existed. Yeah, that's kind of cool, say. And today it's being used all over the world. There we go. All over the world. That's all I got to say. So anyway, um, thanks, Karen. Appreciate that. So let's get into the hey, I have the Maelstrom. Good to see you. Love the iced tea. Well, thank you, Ginger. It is fun. It is fun. Absolutely. So, Barry, you're in Dayton, Ohio. I've been there. Yes. The Giants live there. That's the thing about Ohio, that whole region right up there, all the way from like Indiana and Illinois and all the way over. Yeah. Them big boys used to walk that country. So, let's get into this. This is a fun little document. So this is a paper I found. A lot of people ask, where do you find a lot of your material? There are a number of websites, but one of the ones I enjoy the most is academia.edu. If you're if you're like I am, tenacious, yeah, I mean, I think they actually wrote me and said that I'm in the top 0.5%. I have downloaded that much material. Hey, it's how you learn. So anyway, this is about a guy. He was an author and occultist. His name was Michael Bertrock. He was an influential character in the revival of Western magical traditions that began in the late 1960s. He's passed on over, but he particularly was I would say probably a master, definitely an advanced inept of Caribbean, Haitian, voodoo in the Western world. Uh, Delightful character, doesn't he? You know, uh, Pretty cool. Um, he talks about that the fact that he was a modern day explorer of the occult. He was raised in the theosophical household and has been influenced by the esoteric approach to religion since its youth. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? When you read these bios of these people, you begin to realize that they may have been in the path, and let's say, in this case with Michael, down in the Haitian culture, but his path is still much like ours. I think it could be defined that many of us have been influenced by the esoteric approach of religion since our youth. Raise your hand. Yeah, there we go. So, he's written a number of books, Lucky Hoodoo, a short course in voodoo power secrets. We're going to go through it because, again, voodoo it's really kind of a cool system. It's got a lot of traps, but it also has a lot of highs. You can do a whole lot with it. And as you begin to see, I think with voodoo, I will say this, in the novices, when you practice it, it seems to generate some pretty quick results. Anyway, he goes on, and it's a short little paper, folks. It really is. You can see his artwork influenced by the Haitian culture. In fact, they asked him why he thought that the Haitian artwork was so powerful and why are artists so special. And I really like this guy. And he says, I think it's a high form of expression. He said, I think they portray energies in a way that the abstract expressionists through the 40s and 60s in America and Europe haven't succeeded in objectifying. And I think in many ways that Haitian art is similar to many of the paintings of Crowley because they use colors expressive, very, very strong, and large amounts of colors to emphasize and dramatize and articulate the powers and the force fields, because this is really what's around us, folks. All of us generate this right now, each and every one of, and depending in what modality you may be in, the intensity and the waves will be ever more expanding and more excited as they're closer to you. And the problem is today with so many people, they've accepted and have become the mundane. Mediocrity is the norm for them, and their auras are dull, and they're constricted, and they generate much more what we would call low density waves. And those are the ones that bring you down, man. Anyway, I think you'll love this, particularly if you are an artist. I'm an artist. Many of you are an artist. And to be an artist, again, what modality do you want to express yourself in? I enjoy expressing myself in words. It's no different to me than having a palette of all the color spectrum. You only need 3 colors, really, right? And I think you'll love this. He gets into about the art and the occult. I really like his approach to spiritualism, surrealism. I have to get into what Dada is, and trance mediumship. Now that's interesting because, again, a lot in the voodoo culture, trances play a very pivotal role in the full manifestation of opening the portal between the physical and the ethereal. It's true. Fact check. And again, I found that picture really interesting. So I want to get into where he talks about, I thought the way he expressed this was interesting. Satanic inspiration. During our talks, we came to talk about different occult groups in the Western world, and we entered into the field of satanic artwork. Now, this is interesting because I think it'll come to a revelation to many of us that there is a whole genre in the art world dedicated specifically to what I would call the satanic vibe. And, unfortunately, in the Western world, because of the false indoctrination by the Christian church, the vast majority of Westerners are very ignorant in the occult overall. We know that. But particularly when the understanding of what Satanism, Luciferianism, what is it? What does that really mean? If you're new to the channel, go back in the archives and look at the study that we did on the Satanic Bible. It's not what anyone expected. But anyway, he says, I think it's therapeutic that many people, he says, I think many people were brainwashed with a lot of negativity. You see, and that's exactly what's happened. We've been influenced for millennia nearly. And it's so negative in its base structure. And as a result, negativity will attract negativity. He says, I think the school of Felician Ropes broke through he said the school of ropes, this is interesting, folk, founded by the same artist in Paris in 1888, was the nucleus in modern Satanism. Some members later left the school of ropes to start a more theistic organization, Temple of the Boulon, headed by Paul Michael Gazzotti, a Haitian exotericist. He says, I do not really think that their viewpoint is true in the same sense that the viewpoint of the Church of England is true. Hello, Jethro Tull. Anyway, he says, smiling. And that's exactly what I'm hearing in that song, the album Aqualung. But what he says I do like is that they do a lot more art as therapy than the Church of England. And another thing is, he says that I think a lot of the modern psychotherapists, and he says I'm talking about Wilhelm Reich and even J.P. Santi, a lot of their ideas are reflected into an awareness of satanic art. Now, if we want to talk about the Temple of Bolon and satanic art as options for spiritual minded individuals, I think they're very exciting. Now, isn't it this is what an open mind will do, ladies and gentlemen. You know, instead of categorizing this as evil, bad, what it is just another bucket. It's another option. I mean, we're going to get the panel together here. I've been waiting on it, and we got the people who want to be on it. We're going to discuss sexuality and spirituality. And it's interesting that if you look at it from a point of view as an artist, then it's just another avenue to express, in which this gentleman thinks as well. He says, I think they're exciting because they're very challenging and they cause individuals to wanting to be creative in a different and new way. Many individuals become artists as a result of this impulse called Luciferianism. I don't think that rebellion is necessarily harmful to all individuals. I am a rebel. Been told that. It's part of my life path. That's what I am. Why, you rebel, you. Yeah, guilty as charged. Thank you very well. But anyway, he said that I think what they do is that they challenge ideas and open doorways faster. Now, isn't that an interesting insight? I think that, for example, the School of Ropes is more creative than the Russian Orthodox Church, but the Russian Orthodox Church is more beautiful and more powerful in the long run, he adds, laughing. But I still think that they can coexist and each has their work to do. Love the guy's open-mindedness on this. And he gets into voodoo, the new eon, and alchemy. Now, this is interesting. The author of this paper says, as Michael, as other magicians, bumped into the world of English occultist, poet, and adventurer, Aleister Crowley. Isn't that interesting? Aleister Crowley's writings had a comeback in the 1960s, and a new group surfaced, founded on Crowley's new religion of Thelema. At one time, I was saddened that there was no emphasis on voodoo, says Michael, about this occult network. But I thought of it later as a kind of retirement of energy to return stronger, which it did. And the individuals who were strongly involved with the slaves or the Crowleyan idealism and the new eon metaphysics, they were just in order as the magical retirement for the time being, as if they were getting their breath before they went on to the next adventure. So actually, nothing destructive or negative happened to the powers of alchemy and art. Isn't this interesting? We've gone through these waves of, think about it. You have, the theosophy, Theosophical Society, Satanism, Luciferianism, Christianity, you just go on. And if you can be open-minded enough and step back and look at the grand tapestry, you see all of them play a part in painting what is ultimately, I think, this open format that is not restricted to a simple ideology or theology. And anyway, if you want it, it's a very good read. He really gets into the issues of, well, I guess now that I'm looking at this, we have to pull in some of this. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So years ago, there was a magazine called the Occult Digest in Chicago. They published an essay on Anne Josephine Olfason. She was a Scandinavian woman who was a medical doctor, and she was writing on the topic of whether voodoo was an occultism. She said that it was, and she started attacking the witch coven in which she was for being anti-Black. Really gets back to that video I did on Friday, huh? Is religion racism? Yeah, if you can be honest with yourself, it is. Um, the author, Michael, says, well, I thought that this was really quite revolutionary because you usually do not see these kinds of articles by such diviners of fates and trends. Then people in Finland woke up and would set up voodoo altars. And of course, the Finns have a shamanic tradition through the Sami people and the Lapps. There's also quite a few interested in Iceland, as well as individuals in the rest of Scandinavia. Who would have thought? So I felt that voodoo was like chocolate. It needed simply to be put in the right package to be irresistible everywhere, as long as it was workable and pro-environmental. I dig this cat. I mean, seriously. Anyway, if you want it, send it to you. It's an interesting read. I really like his artwork. It is expressive, and I think it really expresses as well the spiritual connection between our two realms. We're in the realm of the dead. We are, in fact, as you'll go on, one of the interesting things about zombieism is that zombieism is a metaphor to what reality really is. We are the walking dead. We just don't know it. So we continue on with chapter 1, and got enough time to actually do this. It worked out very well. In the section we're reading now, who or what am I? Someone tell me. Okay. Only you exist. You have 7 conscious data retrieval senses: to observe, to listen, to discern, to connect, to experience, to accept, love, or deny fear. You are a solo creator of reality. Everybody and everything else is a mere reflection of a thought you once had and its varying distortions, like the Hall of Mirrors, appearing as forms and matter as a holographic program. All you absorb, you become, and you shapeshift into whatever assortment of being and doing states you please. You can go left, right, forwards, backwards, up, down, 2D left, right, forwards, and backwards, and becomes 3D when you add the imaginary numbers in mathematics, which shifts the dimensional view, revealing up and down too. You self-determine what you wish to experience, and the highest force attracts and assembles the necessary form and matter for the experience. Damn, Sam, that alone you could just simply, I mean, I mean, that one is just a huge bite. It's like eating a Dagwood sandwich. And doesn't that perfectly explain space-time? That is what it boils down to within singularity awareness. Should I bother to write any more then? Well, yes. as the object is for you to understand and experience a higher force, another way, the true reality path that changes your world and everybody's world you come across. To understand for yourself why all things happen, when they happen, how they happen, etc., until you are fully aware of your own causes and the effects of your seeking them. To describe something that has no form or dimensions is pretty difficult. So the object is for you to see it, hear it, smell it, touch it, and taste it for yourself. I've often thought and discussed that the problem with the heaven hell concept is it makes no sense. Mathematically, yes, mathematics has to play a role in these constructs. And the vaguity of both constructs shows that what they're trying to do is have you self-create them. And once you self-create them, as in the book Edidorfa, which is Aphrodite's backwards, the man who was responsible for it all, you find out how these reality plays very much a part of your next stage of existence. And it is sad to see how many people become trapped within these self-created constructs. That's why it's very important that you free yourself from that duality construct. It's dangerous, and as you can see, they're vague because they're not created yet. That requires you. I love this book, by the way. It's this spiritual alchemy. Why not start with famous scientist Isaac Newton's take on spiritual alchemy? Did you know that Newton wrote about the spiritual alchemy? Anyway, and his comments on the validity of the emerald talaps of Hermes, the Trismegistus, excuse me, the 14 statements on what he found true to be and identified with in his translation of Hermes Throff's Emerald Tablets. This is fascinating, folks. Get ready. First, 'tis true without error, certain and most true. 2, that which is below is that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to do the miracles of one only thing. 3, and as all things have been and arose from one by the mediation of one, so, meditation, so all things have their birth from this one thing by adaptation. 4, the sun is its father, the moon its mother, the wind hath carried it in its belly, and earth is its nurse. Whoa. The father of all perfection in the world, of the whole world, is here. 6, its force or power is entire if it be converted into earth. 7, separate thou the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, sweetly with great industry. In other words, with intent. 8, it ascends from the earth to the heaven, and again it descends to the earth and receives the force of things superior and inferior. 9, by this means you shall have the glory of the whole world. 10, thereby all obscurity shall fly from you. I like that aspect. That's pretty cool. Its force is above all force, for it vanquishes every subtle thing and penetrates every solid thing. 12. So was the world created. 14. From this are and do come admirable adaptations, whereof the means or process is here in this. Hence I am called Hermes Trismegistus, having the three parts of the philosophy of the whole world. That which I have said of the operation of the sun is accomplished and ended. It is the system of deliberate avoidance of that which is true that should be questioned here. These are Isaac Newton's own words in relation to spiritual alchemy. Everything is consciousness. What then is spiritual alchemy? Well, actually, everybody is a spiritual alchemist, or at least has the potential to be. I must also remember the words of Nikola Tesla. And as you will see, they explain well why most people are too unaware of their own true self to actually be it. I quote here Tesla: "The human being is a self-propelled automaton entirely under the control of external influences. Willful and predetermined though they appear, his actions are governed not from within, but from without. He is like a float tossed about by the water of a turbulent sea. I could tell people I'm an alchemist. I am what I say I am. What I am is dependent on what I am doing right now. I am an author. Tomorrow, I may be a father, a mother, a boy, or a girl. As the lyrics to Bittersweet Symphony of the Verge goes, I'm a million different people from one day to the next, but I'm here in my mold. Isn't this interesting? The word alchemist immediately brings forth images of old men in the Middle Ages trying to turn metal into gold. And this is the problem. But that's the program, because most people will say, alchemy. Yeah. Well, allegorically, that would be correct when you replace metal with self and gold with highest self. There have always been two expressions of alchemy: internal and those attempting to manipulate external matter. The external has no interest or validity in relation to evolving consciousness. So a better term would be spiritual alchemists. If you're listening to me, and I know in this soul tribe that has come together, we are indeed spiritual alchemists. Many of us are masters. As always, researching the root or source meaning of a word helps us to understand reality better than the one that was given to you by more recent others. If you want to know the source or root meaning of something, simply trace it back to its original creation. External alchemy would be chemistry. Alchemy is a European word stemming from the Kamalaya, alchemy, alchemeia. The Arabic term is derived from the ancient Greek, and I'm not even going there, meaning chemistry. Chemistry comes from the word alchemy, which comes from the word chemistry. You ever feel like you're in a revolving door? The ultimate root word of the word chem stems from ancient Egypt, and where the population was known as children of Chem. In ancient Egypt, Chem, also spelled Chem, K-C Khem, was the Egyptian word for black. Let us continue with this trend for looking deeper within for answers. Looking further within the word chem, we find that its root source is Kemet. Ancient Egypt is commonly referred to as Kemet, a reference to the Black Land, as opposed to Deseret, the red barren desert land. The name Egypt was used accidentally by the Greeks after mistaking the second name of the city of Thebes. I believe that's Actros for the country. Kim was also another name for the mythical god, conscious state of being, and allegory, Mem. Mem, Egyptian, was an Egyptian god whose cult originated in pre-Danonistic times, the 4th millennium BC. He was represented in many different forms, but was often represented in male human form, shown with an erect penis, which he holds in his left hand, and a paled right arm holding in a flail. As Kim, or Men, he was the god of reproduction. As Kamom, he was the creator of all things, the maker of gods and man. So externally, you have chemistry, and internally, you have spiritual alchemy, or chemistry of the soul, if you will. As always, throughout history, mankind has split itself into inner projections and outer reflections, with many belonging to the outer reflection sphere. Wow, there's a truth bomb right there. Look at that. How many of us were there? But the reason why we never fit in throughout our lives, because we were the ones that were the spiritual alchemists. We were here for a much greater purpose than I believe than many souls that are here. The materialism, this is the root of materialism. It becomes such the stimuli for the outer pleasure senses that the inside literally starves. So externally, you have lucky evolution has brought those two spheres into a new eye, an eye that can see beyond that which lay before, a new shared area of high frequency possibility for those who belong to neither one way nor the other, but the sum of the two. A new way, a new vision has been born, and it was born within the 4th incarnation of consciousness. Now, that's an interesting term. The 4th incarnation of consciousness. What was once threefold has now entered its own temporary virtual space called cyberspace. This is where all knowledge is accessible. But at the same time, distractions such as social media keep human beings inside a false connection sphere. Digital connection is not lasting. It does not provide real life interaction. It is swapping 3D activity with the life forms of 2D non-activity with non-life forms, just digital data representing an illusion of life forms. Throughout time, one has searched for material gold and inner gold. Those who were intent on turning lead into gold on the outside were known as puffers, due to the belief they fired their amblics with. And amblic, Arabic meaning from the Greek word cup or breaker, is an alchemy steel consisting of two vessels connected by a tube used for distilling chemicals. Moonshine. Hello, Brian. The spiritual alchemists, on the other hand, sought the goal of cleaning their spirit, or what we call the puma, or purging their souls, or indeed re-releasing the junk that was blocking their true impulse from their DNA blueprints for life. Puma is the Greek word for breath, and a religious context for spirit or soul also is the stoic, the breath of life. Carl Jung was instrumental in bringing alchemy, the occult, the esoteric mysticisms closer to the mainstream understanding. It's true. Here was one of my mentors, Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill also managed to allegorize the almost impossible to explain superior formless force, and how you could learn to understand and work with it for your own benefit. Jung explained how mysticism related to symbolic representation of the process of wanting to become psychologically whole. He called the whole process individuation. This, the way to look at knowledge is to learn what was, then see and interpret what is to your own unique understanding of the world, and then try and produce or create what can be or what can or will be. There is a pattern, a process that leads to the discovery of true self. This process is called the ascension process. This process is explained in the third book of One upon a time series, the Akashic Chapter 3 record, The Mind. Technically, according to legend, as an alchemist, I would be attempting to discover the Philosopher's Stone, except that I cannot do because, to my utmost surprise, I discovered it. The stone that represents the still life creation that came from the initial movement and reflection of water, the allegory material reflection of consciousness itself. Where there is water, there is life indeed. Just knowing that water means consciousness alters everything you know and read that talks about water. The allegorical universe interpretation. Everything you see is allegory and a twin copy of what lies within you. Being a spiritual alchemist actually means having the ability to turn your dreams into reality. There are 7 processes. These processes you will see further on an allegorical representation of the external alchemist. Simply search the origins or root of the words for yourself and see how they relate to formless aspects of self. The interesting thing that I look at this when I get into deep meditation, I'm formless. I am thought. And it's interesting because it's like almost being seasick, motion sickness. You know you have physicality. You have the ability to express through this magic thing called a larynx. We're going to get into that more and more. These are magical boxes. These boxes we call larynxes are they're creation devices. They literally are. They have all the attributes of what is needed to create the substance into material things. There are many words for many things that underneath are all the same. It's easy to get lost in knowledge, but on you must go because knowledge breeds wisdom. Wisdom breeds silence. Silent breeds telepathy. Telepathy breeds a new way of communication. A new way of communication breeds a new way of being. And so it goes on and on forever. Every time you allow something within you to come into comprehension, away it goes again, stored forever, making room for something new. This constant inner desire towards evolving, sub or unconsciously, for the most part, is the root cause of all pleasure and all discomfort. Mankind has been destroying itself from the inside by refusing to enter realms that are unfamiliar, dark, if you will. The root cause of all negative thinking and negative frequency, intent, and action. All impulses of darkness stem from a fear of the unknown or unconscious aspects of self, as witnessed in others via inner projection and outer reflection through other vessels, objects, or things. Look at the periodic table of elements. See how one atom adds to another and another and another. This is what you must do. Create a sphere of intent and then enter it to experience it. Creating and entering a new sphere of possibility automatically creates the next subsequent sphere to explore. If you can tune into your highest frequency, you are experiencing quantum superpositioning in a real life experience. Whoa. Base everything on your highest joy. Being in this frame of mind automatically allows the next sphere to come into view. Many times, the fear of the unknown, evolving into a higher version of yourself, is worrying, simply because it is unknown to you. You have no experience, images, or memory. It can feel like you are going mad. You are not. You are actually evolving. Man does not want to change. Your highest self does. This resistance must not prevail because it is the cause of aging and divided peace, dis-ease, a fading of the light of evolution itself. As evolution continues, the further you fall from your highest evolved self, the more your light fades, and it begins to show until you pass on or reconnect, reincarnate to try it all over again. The 7 stages the author has dared to play allegory detective because inside the explanation of external lie, the clues, and the allegorical reflections of a formless attributes they mirror. The description of the 7 stages are from the source. And you can actually go to these websites here, the Emerald Formula by Alchemy and the Emerald Tablets, Alchemy for Personal Transformation by Dennis William Hawk. So we don't have time to get into this, but in each stage here, it lists how you can begin this process. The calcination is the first following the 7 major operations in the alchemy of transformation. And by going through this, hopefully, if you want this book, you can see we may continue on. This is the type of book that probably requires another show because the information is not stale. It is riveting to me and definitely stimulating. So yeah, we'll probably continue on this most likely tomorrow. It's a fascinating read, isn't it? And this is the type of material that allows growth, particularly in a collective like this. Just by my speaking of this and you hearing it, and it's now replaying in your mind, the alchemy, the spiritual alchemy is in full manifestation. We can see it in actuality, what it really looks like. And this manifests itself in many other forms, regardless if it's politics, religion, cliques, it's all the same process. It's just that we've never been taught that this is a process that can actually be defined. When we talk about spirituality, it's so ambiguous because it means so much to every person. It has a different perception. But when you get into the aspects of really seeing this coming together, and it is a cleansing, it is a refreshing, and it's definitely a stepping stone. So, hey, David, what's up? Well, thank you, David Barry. Big hug to you. My wife will give me a big hug. She gave me one this morning. We love hugging. Hugging is good for your health. So hug somebody. Nina has her show in an hour over her channel, the Hump Day Message. So hop over there. Big Al, you are welcome. This is the stuff that helps us grow, man. It does. I share it with Lynn many times. She can just sense. She says, "So what did you get into today?" You know, it's like she can really sense it. And then we start talking, and of course she just looks at me with love and adores me and admires me and comes back and says, "You very smart." She's very smart. So anyway, much love to all of you folks. Y'all are just great. Thank you for tuning in. And hey, if it resonates with you, hit the like button. You know, share it with others. Thank you, Nina. It's good material. It's quality material, and I like it. And you know, it just makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Ancient Lumerian. Yeah, I would say that as well. It is an interesting book, isn't it? So fascinating. And we have there's a second part to this, or third part now, that I love how he breaks down the different belief systems. We'll get into it tomorrow. So stay tuned for part 3. All right, everyone. Much love to you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for adding so much to my life. You've given me energy, you've given me joy and pleasure. And you know, those are all the positive things. Yeah. This may be the living dead, but if I'm in it, I want to live as much as I can. And you know, the energy transfer that happens in these get-togethers is amazing. So yes, don't we all want some more of it? That's exactly. So be good to yourself. This is a good place to be, and the other channels that are directly connected to this soul tribe, fabulous information, and y'all are just the best. So see y'all tomorrow, you know, as they would say, peace and love, baby. Thank you, Richard Stark. Starkey, isn't it? Yeah, that's what Ringo is. All right, folks, I will see you tomorrow.